Hi everybody, this is Britton, and today I have a very special guest with me. Yay! This is Kelsey from Frock My Life.
F-R-O-C-K. My life.
She is a full-time reseller and one of my really good friends, my PFF. We have done a show together.
And it was so much fun.
Really, really fun. I guess we're going to do it annually, maybe.
Yes. The
Time
annual
flies.
Britton and Kelsey show.
But I'm really grateful for the opportunity during PoshFest to spend some one-on-one time with Kelsey.
We've had so much fun.
And get to know you a lot better. I've learned a lot about you over these last couple of days, and if I wasn't already super fascinated by you,
So sweet.
I'm even more so now, and I feel like I've been asking you a ton of questions. So we're going to take just a few minutes here to get to know a little bit more about you and your background and your reselling journey.
Okay.
Because to me, it's such an interesting journey that you've had in your life overall, and specifically how you've become Frock My Life.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little background to start off with?
Sure. So I'm an only child from a single parent household. And I had a first job at a pet store. And then, so I worked at a pet store.
You've always loved animals.
Yeah, always. And then I became a lifeguard. And then from lifeguarding, I went into retail and fine dining. And I eventually just got sick of working for people who didn't appreciate my quality of life. And our dog got sick, and I needed to be home with him full time. So that's kind of how.
So that was the catalyst for you, right?
Definitely,
really
it became the issue
full-time.
of leaving because he needed me there. He needed medicine. He needed to do his therapies, things like that. So I thought his quality of life was just really suffering. I think when I was at work still.
And
so
that was around COVID, peak COVID, right?
It was maybe 2 years ago. So 2022, I would say.
Okay.
2022.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so I left, and I would just jumped in full time. And I haven't.
So you've been doing reselling for many years.
Yeah, so I joined Poshmark in about 2015 or 2016. I think maybe 2 years after that is when I really started reselling. Mm-hmm. I used to source stuff at Gabriel Brothers. I sourced bed stews, Anthropologie jewelry, and I was really just part-time kind of picking up retail arbitrage. Slowly got into thrifting. From thrifting, it went to sample sales. Sample sales turned into pallets, and now pallets is plural. Pallets, 6 in 2 weeks is what we did. Recently,
yeah, you said you just recently sourced a lot of pallets. Yeah, so you're primarily a pallet reseller.
Now, yeah, I would say primarily liquidation, bulk contracts of items, things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you left the restaurant business a couple of years ago and went full time with your small business as a reseller.
Yeah.
And then when did you start doing Posh shows?
I was in the second wave of beta. I think you and I actually betaed
around
at the same time.
And you did do Whatnot shows too.
Yes, I did. But I think that was a really bad fit. I don't think the audience was what I was going for. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And
you were quick to realize that, I think.
I just think the fit was bad always. I was never in my niche. I was never I felt like where home was. I don't know. There's something homey about Poshmark. The minute. And I think
like
you
it's my home.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I just feel like that's my tribe. That's my people. So as soon as that kind of came around, I was really grateful for that, and it just clicked, and I got it, and I was like, all right, I see what we're doing here. This is what we're doing. So I was in second beta wave. So I believe my first show was October or November, and it was my anniversary. So I'm coming up on my second year of live shows then.
Mm-hmm. Yes, on Poshmark specifically.
Yes, on Poshmark specifically.
And have you been doing full-time shows that whole time period?
So I think there's been a little bit of figuring out kind of what people like, how they want to shop, how they want to bundle, how they want to pull inventory in for themselves if they're reselling. So I'm currently doing 2 longer shows as opposed to doing 4 medium-sized or shorter shows.
Because you're balancing that with being a dog mom, basically. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
And with your husband.
Schedule. Yeah. So with Brad's schedule teaching. So, and then I'm trying to be more consistent with listing. So I'm trying to do maybe 25% listed inventory, 75% shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So can you give us a little bit of insight into the liquidation and pallet world without divulging too much information? Because I know that's proprietary to your business.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us are fascinated about that versus thrifted items.
For sure, yeah. I think there's ups and downs. I always tell the story, I once got a shoe pallet that only had left shoes in it. Mm-hmm. So everything I've gotten pallets before that are just tank tops, and then you have to figure out what am I gonna do with 600 tank tops? How do I find this? How do I make this money? I made boxes of them personally. I sold like 10 for $5 and just kind of like turned and burned through them, because at that point I think it's better to just clear it out. And even if you're just breaking even, like at least it's one show. So you have to be committed. Like once it's there, you have to work through it. You can't take it back. Like they're not going to take it back. Right. Or you have to say like, okay, am I going to then now distribute this out? Like, am I going to go to Plato's Closet with this? So you really do have to sort through it. So like things that are damaged, I'll like evaluate, like, can I fix this? Can I salvage this? Do I sell this damage? Can it just go to like a secondhand shop where like they're going to see value in that, even though it's imperfect?
And then sometimes I think you also donate to women's shelters and places.
We donate
like
a lot to women's shelters. We work with another charity that helps people through rehabilitation process after sobriety issues.
And you're based out of Cleveland,
Ohio. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
and,
pretty
big
city.
Yeah, and then we give things away all the time. We make baskets for like local families in our area who post that they're in need. Or like anytime there's like a crisis situation, like a house fire or like damage to a property, something like that, we always offer to drop off like a basket or something like that.
And she just has the heart for this too overall. I was saying, we were talking earlier, you said that you were also a couponer.
Yeah.
Which I did that for a little while too in my 20s.
Love couponing.
So I love that. And that you also donate some of those types of like grocery type of items too.
Yeah,
so
we make a lot of care baskets for our people in our community. Yeah. I think it's important after like people were good to me in my life and good to my mom in our life. It's really important, I think, to keep that put back in the universe. Like what people give to you, I do think you need to return out there so it can go to somebody else. Because like I don't want to be the person who stops the process, you know.
Did you say too that you did mystery boxes at some point?
For a while, yeah. Lexi would agree with this. She always tells me to bring back mystery boxes. Yeah. So when I first started, I was selling Amazon pallets, and I was just breaking them up by sizes. You'd see everything. I started at like $3 or $5 and we'd just roll with it. And then shipping was obviously an issue like right in the beginning, because like we had to still sort everything, bundle everything. It wasn't auto bundling at that point. Remember, they were all separate purchases then.
Did you manually bundle within the show? Yes. Yeah.
And it was a lot. Or
we were
Chase,
so excited when that automatic
we were just
bundling.
so excited. We were like, we're just happy to be in shows again. Like I remember us talking about this and being like, I'm just so happy we're here now. So it's kind of like rolling with the punches, and I'm just so happy like coming out of PoshFest, seeing like how much they've taken the time to like actually tune in, listen, like they've heard their viewers, they're responding to things. I think everything except your one request, which I'm so sorry about again.
To give you some context, we are coming off of day two of PoshFest 2024. We had an amazing couple days. We went to the PoshFest
final party
tonight, which was so
much fun.
It was a great
go to PoshFest.
Yeah, it's a great way to cap off these couple of days.
Was,
and just have some fun. Dance a little bit. Have a good time.
Dance a lot of it.
Yes.
Dance a lot of it.
And so we heard some exciting announcements during PoshFest, and
there was a lot of good talk. AI, ChatGPT.
They're releasing some updates that will be of value to us.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Now, there's a couple things that they're still on our wish list.
They're still on our wish list.
But what was great too, being physically at PoshFest, which I love, is the fact that we have in-person access to Team Posh, as they say. So staff members at Poshmark who are like product managers, and the like, where we can directly provide our feedback. This is, as Poshmark sellers, this is what we would like to see. These are our pain points. Is this in the pipeline for you to work on at some point? So I had a conversation yesterday with someone about that, and again tonight too at the party. And
there the rarity that you would actually get directly to the person who's in charge of it. I don't know many companies that would actually like put you in the capable hands of that person to actually look at them face to face and say like, this is what I'm hoping for.
It was a great opportunity.
This is why I feel it's beneficial. And then them going back and forth saying like, how would it work to you? How do you vision this?
Let's
Why
talk
would it
through this.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like okay, great. Like no, there was an actual like dialogue. I feel like that
it was
happened.
A conversation.
Yeah. No, for sure, which I think is rare, because I don't know any other company that's actually sitting down, essentially they're freelancers or they're consigners, and saying like, how do we just make it better? All of them, like 900 of us all at once, just like coming at that. I mean, like,
absolutely.
And then somehow processing that and making the changes.
Right.
Which I think is rare, and I think it speaks volumes about the company.
And some things have higher priority than others.
For sure.
Of course. That's understandable. But it was good to be able to have those honest conversations with them.
And then get a prize for having them.
Right.
Like, you got a keychain,
Exactly,
a bag.
yes.
Like, everybody got prizes after they were on us. It was the best.
They wanted our feedback.
Yeah, you got a present for it. That's
they
the
really
best.
wanted our feedback, and they gave us prizes for it,
I'm going to see if my husband will put me on the system. I'm going to keep being honest and hope I get presents for it.
Yeah, so in any case, tell us more about maybe like where you see the future of your business going.
I'd like to expand out to a warehouse instead of my little office and my
house.
house.
You do have an office space.
I do have an office space, yeah.
You work out of your home primarily, but
I do my shows and my shipping out of my house, but I have all of my inventory, my listed stuff like that is going to be like at my office. So like my shoes and stuff like that, or like stuff I'm sorting through, like stuff I'm getting ready to donate, because I try to make it where it's like one trip, because that's more efficient. It's not a
storage unit. To
no,
clarify.
it's like an actual office.
office.
Yeah, no, like it's an office with like rooms and doors and like a lock, and like it's a real office building.
Yeah, but it's really more of a storage space.
I use it more for storage, just because shoes take up a lot of space, and we have 400 something shoes that are listed currently, and then we have 2 pallets that just came in, so we just got another 300 pairs of shoes in.
You're smart to ramp up now and keep like the coming up
holiday season.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Who's not buying new with tags for holiday season?
Right.
So storage is definitely a concern with pallets. It's how quickly you're going to move it. Your money's tied up. Like, how long can you afford to have that money out there for? And that's why I was saying
too that you're taking advantage of good pricing when you see it.
Absolutely. And
which
I think that's
space
something.
I think allows you to do
it does.
that.
No, and that's why it's so great. So ideally speaking, I would love to get to a warehouse. I would love to have a docking ramp. I would get to pay less in shipping fees then.
Really?
To do residential shipping is more expensive.
They have on like a
They do, because they have to bring a different truck as opposed to just backing up to a warehouse,
Which
unloading
she's like
everything.
this with her delivery driver.
I adore Jim, our delivery driver. He's my favorite. So there's things like that's cost associated with it, where like if we had the warehouse space, I could put my whole business in that one place. So we would go right from pallets and we could go right to live selling and then right out to shipping. So it would be a more consistent flow as opposed to now where it's kind of going and getting stuff, bringing it back. It is, So I think there's more labor intensive work that's happening right now. So I definitely like to streamline. I'd like to have a team. I'd like to be able to have people come pick up our items. Our mail carrier is not willing to do it.
Really?
And since we have so many boxes,
you can't schedule a pickup.
We can. She doesn't
just
want
to.
So like she's just one lady. So
do
like
you
she
drop
said,
off at
we go take
office?
it. Yeah, we go visit Mr. Gary.
Do you have a scan sheet or no?
No, I don't. Do they give you a scan sheet?
No, I think that's more of an eBay.
Yeah, eBay has a thing where like you can just go scan one barcode and it'll dock all your packages in.
Poshmark needs that.
Poshmark desperately needs that, and they need to start tracking all of the additional shipping numbers that come with it so they can see where each box is located at.
Do you have access to your post office where they'll give you like a cart?
We have a rolly cart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, that's good. Yeah.
We usually try to build the drop off around Brett's schedule though, so that we can take his SUV and that we can drop all the items off together then, so the two of us kind of make it a system.
Because you're very much a high volume.
Yeah, I would say we're high volume. I try to do anywhere between like 2 and 250 a show. I pull that many items, and then what sells and what doesn't.
And you're ramping that up.
I'm ramping up. I'm trying to hit 300 is my goal by the end of the year.
Wow.
I'd like to do 300 items twice
per
a week.
show.
Yeah, and if we can do more, I will do more. So if we can build up to 400, we'll build to 4. If I can build to 5, I'll build to 5. So whatever I can hit by the end of the year, but it's got to be a minimum of 300, I think.
At what point do you see yourself hiring employees or an employee or employees?
I think it's once I could justify it in the business, because I don't think it's quite busy enough where I can't do it myself. It's a lot and I'm tired, but like the 2 shows are more manageable. But with the length coming up of them, and it's really more so like I just need simple projects. So it would be more maybe finding somebody who's like
discrete
tasks. Like 20 minutes is all it would take. They come pick up the packages, go drop them off, or like, hey, can you go run it? It's more like a personal assistant. I feel like I need rather than like a full-time employee. So I think it's hard to
hire someone. Where do you think you would go?
I actually honestly don't know. I was hoping we would have heard a lot more about that with PoshFest today. Do you think that's something they could improve maybe on the next time? Is like asking people who have employees or teams or like how they delegate the tasks, how they hire them.
That was a topic within the roundtable that I was at.
Okay.
That was titled "Going from Part-Time to Full-Time" on Poshmark. And the suggestion was around more of like a VA for listings, but for us
live sellers that wouldn't help.
But I think for someone like you, with these more like kind of discrete, simple tasks, you could even use someone who's like maybe a high school student who's in your area.
Right, yeah, because it's like, who do you find that wants to come to work for 20 minutes?
Right.
And it's not a full-time job. It's kind of a quick task, or like, it's kind of a like on the spot thing, like, hey, it is a lot today, like, can you come in? So yeah, I think something
someone
like
very local to you.
Yeah, so I think that would be
extra cash. Yes. Yeah.
And then like I would have to learn about like filing like the tax documents and stuff like that under the LLC, like how that would all work, what kind of insurance I would have to take out, because I would have to modify my insurance for what I currently have, since it's just me. So I think there's a lot of like I's to dot and T's to cross.
There's a lot of logistics around getting to that point in your business.
For sure. So I would definitely need to do a lot of research, I think, before I did that. So yeah.
You're fascinating to me. The time I've spent with you these couple days too, like that's just increased too. Like I feel like we've had these conversations and like things, little bits and pieces are coming out. And I'm just like amazed by you and really inspired by you too. You're really you're like a salt of the earth kind of person, but also especially what I admire about you is your, let's say, networking.
Talkability.
Really, really good at communicating with people to really kind of break it down. So, what would you say has been a benefit to you and your business by keeping in touch with so many other resellers?
I think just from like traveling so often, and like I would just sign up with groups, like I would be just myself and just not know anybody. Working in the restaurant industry, you work with everybody. We would have everybody from just like, you know, everyday families up through celebrities, and you have to navigate that situation where like each of them need a different kind of care. You know, I can't go.
Did you serve NBA players?
All the time.
Yes.
We served Cavaliers regularly. The Browns were my regulars. I've served celebrities. I've served like local Cleveland, like famous people, like news anchors, stuff like that. Yeah, we've taken care of like a little bit of everybody.
It's a skill you've honed.
Yeah, so I think just like there's a social aspect to that, and like a navigating like how do I talk to this person versus how I speak to the next person, because like the correct kind of care for like a family of 5 is not the correct kind of care for like a celebrity. There's discretion that goes into that. So it's pivoting and like working with all these people, you know, while you're tending bar, while it's this, while it's that, while you count all the money and you don't lose any of it because you're accountable for all of the accounting at the end of the night. It's all of those kinds of things. It's traveling, like being with strangers and like working this dynamic of 6 people in a room, and like, you know, how do we all get along? We've never met before, you know what I mean? So bringing that in and seeing all those values, I think is really like why I keep networking, why I keep talking, and why I keep
And what is
saying,
the value in that, in your opinion?
I think it's just
on the reseller side.
On the reseller side, I think it's just the fact that I don't know everything, and I'm not gonna know everything, but I want to know as much as I can.
So getting bits and pieces from different people.
And just like the experience of it, or like if I have a question and like I want to know digital marketing or something like that, I want to go to Chelsea and say, like, Chelsea, like, how am I building this? You know, like I want to come to you and say, like, Britton, like, I know you've done such a good job structuring these shows and these giveaways and like finding like how am I doing that, like. But I wouldn't have that ability because I think it looks a very specific way if I'm only coming to you in my time of need. As opposed to me saying like I'm celebrating
building a friendship.
I'm celebrating your wins. I'm trying to answer your questions if I know something, and you know I want to give you this answer. Like I'm sharing information back and forth because we're on a platform together, and then like I want someone to do that for me. So like how can I not give you that if I want that? And
very reciprocal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has to be, because I think otherwise it's advantageous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of self-serving at that point if you're not giving what you hope to receive
and
from.
I know it's very genuine.
No, I try. No, honestly, like it really is. Like I want to help people. That's why I do the Posh and Learn program.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that briefly.
Yeah. So there was an application and you got to fill in what topics you thought were best. And I was chosen for scaling your business to full time. And I just think because I had to do it so quickly and just kind of out of necessity, I probably did not do things properly. I think there were a lot of hiccups, a lot of bumps to like smooth out, to work out. There was not a plan. It just kind of was like, go. So I think by doing some things wrong, I figured out a lot of things that could go smoother for maybe somebody else to help them, tell them, do things like that. So I applied, they got back to me pretty quickly, and I was chosen for that. And I do it once a month, and it does pay a small credit. So once a month, and I think they're still taking applications. So if you wanted to apply, you could. You just pick like a couple topics, and then they decide which you're best fit for.
So it's a live show.
Yes, it's a live show or a Zoom meeting. It's a requirement of an hour. I usually stay on for like 2.5. Though.
Yeah.
And so you can bring any of your questions. We can set up like demo listings. just talk through it, like how you guys did that at PoshFest today. It's kind of like that live. So someone will come in and say like, how do I make a multiple listing? How do I mark something as sold? Like, how do I import this?
It's
like,
not, you're not selling anything. You're
no,
just providing
it's literally just like a Q&A
Yes.
and like an open format, like how we're talking back and forth. It's just like that. Yeah. Just people bringing questions.
I love that you do that.
Yeah.
I went to, I think, your first one.
Yeah.
And you were
You
great.
were, yes, because
Yeah.
you were my recommended friend at my second one, because I feature a friend every time I teach one.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so you were my recommended friend at my second one.
I love that
told
you
him-
jumped on that opportunity.
Yeah, I really wanted to give back after what I feel like Poshmark has given me and my family. Like, and I just, again, like, I feel like they've given my family so much magic. I would never be able to put it back out there to the extent that they've given it to me. And I just thought like this was a small step in accomplishing that. So I really wanted to do it. It wasn't about the money. It's just about the give back. And I wanted to know that like maybe a conversation could be the catalyst for somebody to be on the path that I was. Like in that time of need, they would know they could hit the ground running because of a conversation they heard. Or like in this experience, like somebody could do this because of what you have facilitated for people. So I just really like that idea. That like help all, like
And
enough
that
room at the
speaks
table.
to who you are, and
I mean, you as
how
well,
kind you
and all
are.
5 of you. I should say
Kelsey.
all 5 of you, because
Listen,
it's not
I think
just you.
on that note, that's a great way to
wrap
round
it up.
out this conversation.
Thank you guys so much
appreciate
for
you
having
so
me. I'm
much,
sending a hug to
Kelsey.
Chelsea behind the
You
camera
are
too.
taller than me, for the record, but
I am.
For the record,
I know, I'm 5'9", I'm very tall.
Her chair's just lower.
Yeah, my chair is just a lot higher.
I feel so lucky to have shared a beautiful hotel room with you here in Nashville at PoshFest.
Yeah, and thank you so much for asking me to. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for participating in this. We wanted to highlight you here in our The Live 5 group. And so if you wanted to check out Kelsey here on
come hang
Poshmark,
out.
again, her username is Rock My Life, and of course we'll include this in the description of this video, so you can easily come to her shows.
Yes, come to my Posh and
if
Learns too if
do
you have any questions.
Yeah, questions for
Yes.
her. She's
Saturdays
more than
at
willing to help
2:30
out.
Eastern time towards the 1st of the month.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
This time with PoshFest, so it's going to be like the 14th or 15th, whatever that Saturday is.
Perfect. Yes.
Awesome, yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.